Welcome back to the Banger Bar for another edition of Overkill Reviews. This week is a big one. Anthrax's brand new record For All Kings, released today on Megaforce in North America and Nuclear Blast around the world. These guys formed in '81. It's their 11th studio album and the second since Joey Belladonna reunited with the band in 2010. Let's take a look at what Scott Ian and the boys have got for us this time. The opening track on the record is You Gotta Believe, and after a short kind of Lord of the Rings-ish, somber, emotional intro, it kicks in with a very modern, very clean thrash metal riff. Check it out. What's clear to me right off the bat with this record is this is a band, after thrashing for 30 years, are still not mailing it in. This song is full of ideas. After that opener that's very thrash and very upbeat, it breaks down into a very typical get in the mosh, halftime Anthrax riff that we know and love from this band. There's some mellow sections, and most prominently, Joey Belladonna is right up front. And I know there's the Bush camp and there's the Belladonna camp when it comes to Anthrax fans, but if you like Belladonna, you're really gonna dig this opener. The second track I want to dig into is the title track, For All Kings. It opens with a very big, very grandiose Belladonna vocal opening. Very Dickinson-esque, and I can see this fitting perfectly on the stage with Maiden and the boys when they tour together this year. What really struck me about this particular song was the lyrics. Now, the title For All Kings could easily be interpreted as a Dio-esque fantasy epic, but in fact, it's about personal responsibility and being a king for yourself and the people around you. The one lyric that struck me was the line, "As my sky turns black as if asleep. The king is dead, so long live the man in me by divine right." This is a band that's aging. Scott Ian is a dad now. We're sort of seeing, I think, this band mature and start to see some personal reflection in their songs, which is kind of a nice addition to this album. But in the end, what really struck me about this song actually comes towards the end, when there's this sort of unabashed, a bit old school new wave of British heavy metal meets almost New England dual guitar harmony line. Love this part. Clearly a band shooting for the sky, and you can imagine them on the stages of the festivals this year. Again, reinforcing that although this is a thrash metal album at heart, there are some big moments, some very, very ambitious moments on this record. Pretty cool title track. The third track I want to talk about is Breathing Lightning, and undoubtedly this is the track that's going to divide the listenership. It has a very accessible, very massive, very, very sing-along chorus in the middle of it. Listen to this. You always have the chance to do the right thing until the right thing comes undone. I'm swinging my lighter on that one. I've listened to it a few times and it is catchy as fuck. It will definitely be a bit too syrupy, a bit too mainstream, maybe a bit too accessible for some of the audience, but even for this guy, curmudgeonly, crusty, old, extreme metalhead, this is a strong track. The other thing about this song and this album in general is the addition of Jonathan Donace from Shadows Fall makes it an even fiercer, more modern sounding record. Check out this solo. So what we've got there is this bread and butter Anthrax riff, but on top, a very metallic, very modern solo that really successfully bridges that gap from a band that was an outgrowth of the new wave of British heavy metal, but in 2016 is still making a modern sounding record. this is going to be one of the strongest metal records of 2016. For some of you, it's going to be a little too mainstream, a little too accessible with Belladonna's vocals. But listen, this is a very robust, very potent record full of good ideas. Even late tracks like Evil Twins and Defend Avenge are rippers and could have been up at the beginning of the album. So all in all, Anthrax, good job, boys, not showing your age at all. 3.5 skulls on Overkill Reviews.